Welcome, folks, to the United Irvine Church of Scotland podcast. We're recording here at Limelight Studios in Irvine, and I have with me Mr. Andy McManus. Andy, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
I'm John McDonald, by the way, folks, just in case you're wondering. So, Andy, folks won't know you. They mightn't even know your name, maybe, but tell us a wee bit about yourself. Where you come from?
So I was born in August 1987 in Irvine.
Oh, you're just a boy.
Just a boy. Yeah, I just celebrated my 38th birthday a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I was born in Irvine to a young couple. Subsequently, I was adopted to another couple in Irvine. My mum was a nurse in the ward that I had been transferred to.
So this is when you were a baby still?
Yes, I was very poorly, very poorly when I was a baby. When my mum and dad adopted me, they were told that I would never make it past my first birthday.
Wow.
And
you just celebrated your 38th?
Yeah.
Yes, who says miracles don't exist?
Indeed, exactly, amen. My mum was like, mum and dad were both like, we'll take him home and we'll make him as comfortable as we can. And as you say, I'm still here. So
what do you think got you through that? From not surviving to your first birthday, and now you're celebrating your 38th birthday. How did that happen?
I think it was definitely, God was definitely there right from the very, very start. My mum and dad were both Christians. My mum sadly passed away about 6 years ago. But both of them were Christians, and both had a very, very strong faith.
Yeah.
My dad was actually a lay preacher for a long time.
Wow.
He had the Largs Nazarene Church.
Okay, yep.
For about a year. They didn't have a pastor, so Dad would fill in for them. And so yeah, it was definitely their faith, and subsequently my faith that developed the strength that I needed to keep going, and also my mum and dad's ability to say, no, you've got to keep going despite your, I wouldn't call them obstacles or problems, I would just say what God gave me, you know. I believe that I was born the way I was born to inspire people to look at me and think, well, this is what he's doing, why can't I?
For those of you who aren't watching and are just listening to the audio, Andy is in a wheelchair. He's been a wheelchair user most of your life?
All my life.
All your life?
Yeah.
So how's that been? How did that, what challenges have you faced being a wheelchair user?
Again, I hope you don't mind. I wouldn't exactly call them challenges. It's just what God has given me, and it's just... So
what obstacles have you overcome then?
I think it's more... I've never been able to walk, so I've always had wheelchairs. The first wheelchair I ever had was actually called a chariot. Very biblical in some ways, of course.
Cool.
And then I graduated to manual wheelchairs. And then when I was 13, I used to kind of race my manual chairs a bit. And I had
race against who?
Just like other friends, and
right, on their bikes and stuff.
Other schools we used to put on like little events and stuff.
Cool.
So I would do that, and I had hurt my shoulder a couple of months before a fun thing that was on, and it was a race I really should have won, and I didn't because my shoulder was that bad. And one of the teachers was like, maybe we should get you you should look into getting an electric wheelchair. I was like, I don't know, because I feel like it would kind of take away my independence a little bit. I don't know why I thought that, but then I got it, and I've never really looked back since.
Cool. So what speed can you do in it?
It can go up to about 6, I think. 6 miles.
That's a decent pace.
I
can do 6 miles, but not constantly.
Aye, she goes well.
Cool. So you talked about faith and how your mum and dad had faith, and how did that impact you? How did you come into a place of believing in God and walking with God?
It's an interesting story. So every Sunday the routine was church. Every morning, myself and my 3 brothers and my sister would get ready for church, and we'd go. at a young age, you that's what you did. You went with your parents, and I was about 12, 13 when, obviously, as I've said before, my mum has passed away. She had a heart and lung condition. She was diagnosed with this condition when I was 12, 13. And 12, 13-year-olds are angry people anyway, aren't we? I was angry at the world, kind of angry at my condition at the time. And this came along that the only person that I could think to be angry with was God.
Yeah.
Because my mum and dad have got enough to deal with. So I fell away from faith for a little while.
Sure.
Back then.
What did that look like, falling away from faith?
I stopped listening to my Christian music and didn't really read my Bible. It was more my football watching would take over, and I'm also an avid wrestling fan. So
you said football there, but come on, you're a Kilmarnock fan. That's not football.
Let's agree to disagree on that one.
I'm risking my life here. I know a lot of Kilmarnock fans.
I'll be honest, my main team's Man United, so
right.
They're much better.
So it's Kilmarnock just your wee team then?
Aye, that's more of a support your local team type thing.
Yeah.
So the watching footy games and watching my wrestling kind of replaced faith in a way.
Sure.
Especially wrestling.
So what wrestling were you watching? I'm guessing it wasn't the old style that I watched when I was a kid.
It would be as it was then the WWF, as it is now the WWE. That I would watch every Saturday morning.
Who was your hero wrestler?
I'm a big Triple H fan and a big fan of The Undertaker.
Right. I don't have a clue who these folks are. I'm just taking your word for it that they're real.
Undertaker, his actual name, Mark Calloway, is a Christian man himself.
Ah, well.
So,
who inflicts pain on people.
Yeah, and it had a very demonic type character.
Oh my goodness.
It's quite strange.
It's Masquerade though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, aye. But
so how did you get into that? Was that just what all the kids were watching at the time? And
I was my oldest brother was a wrestling fan,
right?
And when he moved out, I was kind of into it. But then when he moved out, I really got into it. I just enjoyed the pageantry and the my particular favourite type of wrestling is what you call lucha.
What's that?
So it's like Mexican.
We're learning new stuff here, folks.
Mexican style wrestling. They do like big flips and stuff. It's
right.
More like stuntmen type.
All right.
Type wrestling
cool.
that I like. So
cool. So how long did that continue for? This avoiding God.
Avoiding God. I came back. Well, my mum, my dad had kind of fell away from faith a little bit as well. He was still a believer, but he wouldn't go to church for a while. So my mum and dad, if I can rewind a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure, on you go.
My mum and dad were down in Manchester for a couple of years. My dad went to the college down there, the Nazarene College, and had became friends with a couple, and the husband of the couple had moved to the Ardross in Nazarene, and they were very low in numbers when Jeff moved up. So my mum would go every week just to support them, and I would go every now and again when my oldest brother came home, just to give me something to do. And then one day I was just chilling in my room, like listening to music, and nothing was hitting. You know what I mean? I would skip songs like, I'm not really feeling this song. Feeling this song today.
Come on, give us an insight into Andy McManus's musical tastes.
Oh, that could take us a completely different podcast. I think I love all genres of music, from pop to rock to rap. I even love throat singing.
Oh my goodness! If you could only listen to one artist, who would it be?
Oh,
I'm putting you in a spot here.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Actually, as you can see my hoodie that I'm wearing today.
Yep. It's like the Thriller jacket.
Yeah, the design of the Thriller jacket that you wore in that video. So definitely Michael Jackson would be my favourite.
Could have been worse. Anyway, you were listening to music and nothing was landing. Sorry folks, we're jumping about here, but don't worry.
Nothing was landing this particular day, and I'll keep my Christian music on my iPod as it was then. Just if my mum and dad were in my room, I could quickly change to something a little less unfriendly to their ears, shall we say. And this one particular day I had this song on, and you and I were talking about the Gaither group before the podcast began. It was a song by the Gaither local band called Then Came the Morning.
Don't know that one, no.
And it was it spoke about the resurrection of Christ. And it was just then it was like, here's this man that's gave up his life for me. And it just kind of hit me right in my heart, like, wow. So yeah, that's how it restarted, as it were.
So what was the follow on from that?
So
what did that look like?
I would go back. I was going to church on and off when my brother, who was living in Inverness at the time, would come home. But then I started to go more regularly. I would go every week eventually, and I'd had a couple of one bad experience in a previous church where I didn't really feel included. But this, the Dawson Nazarene, I felt more included.
Good.
Particularly after I had just come back into faith, I'd lost a friend of mine. Robert, he took his own life, and the church family really got me through it at that time. And I was like, well, these people are really something, you know?
Yeah.
And it just built up my faith from then.
Wow. So what does it look like for you, having faith, walking with Jesus, walking with God? What does that mean for you? What does it look like on a regular basis?
He's there for me every single day. When I'm going through stuff, he's there. He knows that I love my music, and he's replaced some of the music that I would listen to.
Okay.
Like, before I came back to faith, for a little while I was a massive fan of a very devil worship type band called Slipknot.
Oh, I know Slipknot.
But one particular day I felt like God telling me to put them down. But here's a band that I love, Christian band actually, who do the same type of music as Slipknot, called For Today. And here's another band called Fit for a King. Yes, you can like these genres of music, but here's the message. Here's my message in that music.
Yeah.
And that was a really spectacular, poignant moment in my life.
Wow. You said there, Andy, that you felt as though the Lord was sent you to lay it down. How do you mean? For some people, the idea of God saying something to them is outside their experience. Can you describe how that came about, that you felt it was God telling you to do that?
Well, it kind of started with a conversation with a friend of mine who knew I was a Slipknot fan, and she's like, "They're not particularly Christian, Andy." And I tussled with it because they were a major favourite band of mine. And one day I just felt like felt God saying, like, I could hear him. It was almost like I could hear him saying,
like to your heart kind
yes,
of thing.
Yeah. No, put them down.
Yeah.
Here's For Today, Fit for a King, and other Christian heavy metal bands that I've subsequently found.
So how did you find the Christian heavy metal bands? Because they're obviously not in the mainstream of Christian music. So how did you come across all of those?
So I love to work. Well, at the moment I'm kind of injured and I haven't worked out in a while, but I love to work out. I do.
Remember not to arm wrestle you.
I do a kettlebell regime, and I love to listen to heavy metal music as I work out. And there was just one day I had typed up Christian heavy metal music, and these were the Fit for King and For Today that I'd
just
mentioned.
Like in Google or something.
It was through YouTube.
YouTube.
I can't remember the guy's name, but there was this guy who is a Christian heavy metal fan, and he would review different artists' albums and songs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would go through all that and pick the ones that really spoke to me
Cool.
in that time.
Cool.
So
is that what you still listen to when you're exercising?
yes, aye.
So we've touched on music, but you're actually doing your own stuff, aren't you?
I am, yes, aye.
How did you get involved in that and making your own music?
Well, I've always been a fan of music since I was a very, very young child. As I mentioned before, I was adopted. My biological dad is still in my life to this day.
Ah.
He came back when I was 2.
Right.
And he's actually a musician himself.
Wow. So he's in a band or something, or?
Currently working with an artist at the moment.
Right.
Doing some acoustic type things.
Nice.
And it was just through his love of music and through my adopted parents' love of music that inspired me to write and to listen to music.
So for your writing, where does your inspiration come from? Is it life? Is it just God? Or is it a variety of things?
At the moment, it's just God. I'm currently quarter of the way through an album that I'm calling Courage.
Okay.
Actually, there's a title song that you and I have spoke about.
Yes.
Called Courage, and it's about. I haven't actually started writing it yet, but
So it's just in concept stage.
yeah. The story is about what courage it takes to be a Christian, particularly in 2025. So I've been doing that, and I've also got my own YouTube channel.
Cool.
It's just my name. Sorry.
What's it? Give us the address.
It's just my name. It's just AndyMcManus, and the little profile picture's me singing at a gig.
And it's McManus,
MCM, capital M, small C, capital M, ANUS.
Folks, YouTube, go and Google Andy McManus.
I do weekly videos on there,
Right.
and a little thing I like to call Tune for Tuesday.
Okay.
So I do worship songs on there, but I'll do secular songs as well.
Yeah.
All in the genres of pop, rock, and country music.
Very eclectic.
Oh yes,
Catering for everyone.
Pretty much.
So you said this song Courage, which we've spoken about. It's about the challenges and the courage it takes to live as a Christian in 2025. So you obviously have some things in mind that make it challenging to live as a Christian in today's age. So what are the kind of things the concepts, the themes that will make its way in, you think, into this track?
I just think with all the different things that have been going on in the world, some people think, why would God have this happen? But it's about keeping on, keep on keeping on.
Sure.
Through that, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
To do that. A friend of mine and I were speaking about this song one day, and she was like, it's almost like we're swimming against the tide sometimes. And I think it's very important to keep swimming against that tide despite detractors and
Sure.
people professing to be Christians but doing things you're like, is that a Christian way of doing things?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll see these themes making their way into the song, will we?
Now that it's an audio, that I'm probably going to have to do it like that way.
You've brought it out the closet, mate, so you're going to have to do it.
That's it. I wrote another song recently. It's called God versus Devil Showdown. And it's a country song. It's kind of like if you've seen like old country western movies, like the gunslinger type thing.
Yeah.
Like one guy versus another guy. And that song's been really interesting to write. So
what's interesting about it?
So it's kind of like there's part of the song where the devil's talking, there's part of the song where God's talking, and it's like what side do I choose?
So have you got different people doing the vocals on that, or are you doing both vocals?
No, I'm doing both vocals for both sides.
Let's hear your God vocal.
It's kind of more my kind of. It's just my kind of how I would sing regularly.
Right,
because I feel like God speaks to me through the music.
Yeah.
The Devil Side's a little bit more gravelly, a little bit more menacing.
Cool.
Kind of like The Undertaker, like we were mentioning before.
Yeah.
Being a big wrestling fan.
Wow. So, Andy, what's your philosophy for life? That's a big question. But,
wow.
You know, if you had a statement that says, this is how I see life and this is how I attack life.
My big statement to that would be one of my favourite Bible verses. It would be Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That would be that's my philosophy.
So despite what people might see as challenges for you, you just see it as opportunities to move forward.
Opportunities and just the way life is, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, I'm a bit out of questions. Anything you want to plug?
So yeah, as I mentioned before, my YouTube channel, AndyMcManus, capital M, small c, capital M, ANUS. I do videos every Tuesday called Tune for Tuesday. I usually do them at about 10:30 in the morning. It takes a couple hours to upload because our internet is so slow. Excuse me. I've also got a Facebook page called Andy/Singer, where I also upload the videos.
Okay.
And there's a few teasers on there. Re the album that I'm writing.
Nice. And so you're saying you do all these tunes on your YouTube channel.
Mm.
Is it you playing music or is it you singing music?
I sing and I pick a backing track.
Okay. So it's you doing covers.
Aye, basically, yeah.
Cool.
At the moment, but the songs that I'm writing may find their way onto the channel eventually.
Yeah.
Once I'm happy with them.
But you're saying the songs that you're writing, but you told me before we started the podcast that you've been writing songs since you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So where are all these? What are you going to do with them?
There's ones in a book that I wrote. So I've written about quarter of the way through the album that I'm doing at the moment. I've written it over the last month, maybe month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to finish those, and then I'm going to look at the songs that I wrote years ago, and try and put music to those as well. So it'll be half like completely brand new stuff that I've written over the last month, and older stuff that I've written before.
Cool. It'll all be brand new to us though, Andy.
Yeah.
We've never heard any of it before.
most people haven't.
So, as we wrap up, you're obviously a part of United Irvine Church of Scotland here in Irvine. What is it that attracted you to be part of the community, and what is it that keeps you part of the community?
So originally I was invited to one of the worship nights about a year ago by my friend, my best friend Frances. She'd been coming to Fulton for about a year before that, I think, and she just texted me one night and was like, "Do you fancy coming down?" I was like, "Okay, let me give it a shot," because I had stopped, the family and I had stopped going to church around about the pandemic.
Right.
Just with the pandemic being on, and then my dad's health kind of deteriorated.
Yeah.
So she texted me and she was like, "Come give this a shot," and I'm like, "Okay, let me give it a wee shot." And it's pretty much as soon as I hit the building, I was like, "This is my place. This is where God wants me to be right now." And then
I felt the same when we came. We just felt there was something in the. You can almost touch it. The sense of community.
There's over there, isn't there?
Definitely.
There is a real community spirit there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I would started coming to the morning services just before Christmas. Previous Christmas there. I've been going almost every week since.
So you obviously don't drive down to church in your wheelchair. How do you get there?
I order a taxi on the Saturday night.
Right. Okay.
And then they'll come and get me on the Sunday morning.
So that's quite a commitment, isn't it? Not just time, but finance just to get to church.
Yeah, but
why would you spend that money and going to church instead of a few pints?
Well, first of all, I'm not a drinker.
Well, there's one answer. Aye.
My favourite tip was actually a non-alcoholic Guinness. But God gave up His life for me. So I think a little £8 here to the church and £8 back is small pittance for what He did.
Yeah.
You know?
can't say anything else to that, I don't think, mate. Thank you so much for joining us, Andy. I know it took you a bit of a taxi to get here, but we're very grateful, very thankful, and just wonderful to hear some of your story. I'm sure there's a lot more you could have told us, but we've limited the time. So, but thanks for sharing, Andy.
You're very welcome.
Folks, if you want to keep up with the podcast, just follow us on unitedirvine.church or any of the streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, all the rest of them. You'll find them all there, on probably Apple as well. Just go and look for your favourite podcast provider and you'll find us there. UICS Podcast. Time to sign off. Goodbye. God bless.